The third cycle of the Dreaming City introduced an agent of Savathûn into our realm. But how did she get here, and what is she here for? Today we're going to discuss the origin of Dul Incaru's appearance, what Savathûn's master plan in the Dreaming City is, and much more.
My queen, you were right. The Guardian was the key. For the first time, the whispers are silent. It is done.
Alright Guardians, welcome back to the channel. Super excited to jump into today's video, and I hope you are as well. So last week Bungie introduced a dungeon into Destiny 2. This was a hidden secret mission called the Shattered Throne, which is basically a mini raid for 3 people. If you progress pretty far into this mission, talk to the Jiraido statue and get yourself the Wish Ender quest, that's all good. But if you continued past that, the last boss is in fact Dul Incaru, who is Savathûn's daughter. So the first card I'm going to read definitely has some spoilers, and it comes from a book that I don't think has released yet within the lore. So I'm not going to tell you who is the narrator of this card. You can go search it up and find it if you want, but the information is very interesting, so let's get right into it. You must be terribly confused. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. After I crashed, I rebooted on a safe physical backup in the Dreaming City. It took me too long to penetrate a simulation and get you free, and for that I ask for your forgiveness. I understand what's happening here. Oryx took the Ahamkara Riven, who then fell into Savathûn's claws. She devised a scheme to use Riven as bait. By inviting Guardians into the Dreaming City, then focusing the will of a group of powerful Guardians upon Riven, she tricked you into making a wish, a desire to alter objective reality to conform with our subjective need to save the city. Riven then fed on that wish in order to breach the Dreaming City's defenses and invite Dul Incaru inside. Dul Incaru and her Taken are simply scouring the city for awoken secrets. You don't need to fret about any greater agenda. Remember though that you face an agent of Savathûn. It's to her advantage to make you see schemes and conspiracies everywhere you look. The 3-week loop must be a failsafe measure to keep Dul Incaru safe as she pursues her mission. In a sense, this city has been rendered deterministic. Only paracausal Guardians have any free will here. The Awoken have been touched by greater powers, so they are aware of their preordination, but they cannot alter it. I'm certain that Curia is behind this loop as a Taken Vex. It's capable of pathological subversions of reality. I'll continue working on a countermeasure. Don't be led astray by Curia's information. You must continue to hold the Dreaming City as long as you can. The things I said to you about black holes and the purpose of Guardians were forced on me by Curia. I'll be here when you need me next. I promise. And then the transmission ends. So there we learned a lot of interesting information. This basically confirms everything we were talking about the last couple of weeks. First off, Riven tricked us into making this wish, which we did, and this led Dul Incaru inside the Dreaming City. This also confirms that Savathûn is behind this master plan and has taken control over Riven after Oryx died. This is explained in my last video, what the last wish actually is. Now their goal in the Dreaming City is pretty much searching for awoken secrets and answers. Nothing about this appearance brings info of Savathûn's invasion, as she herself is trying to learn more about her mother. Now while we do know that is going to come sometime in the future, this is again one of those hints saying, oh hey, she's gonna be here soon, try and figure out what she's doing and prepare for it. But Dul Incaru is still a threat, as she is an agent of the Witch Queen herself. And as stated earlier, for those of you that don't know, Dul Incaru is the final boss in the Shattered Throne dungeon. This is basically a mini raid that rewards a triumph, and if you visit the Jiraido statue, you can get the Wish Ender quest. But Erismorn also informs us why this cycle is repeating week after week, and the answer is Curia Blade Transform. She says, I'm certain that Curia is behind this loop as a Taken Vex. It's capable of pathological subversions of reality. I'll continue working on a countermeasure. So we know the Dreaming City is cursed with this 3-week cycle of repetition. Week 1 things were a little crazy, a little different, but by week 3 everything was corrupted and Dul Incaru appeared in Mara's throne world. This is super important in the giant scheme of things in the whole master plan, but I do find Incaru's position very interesting. So she is an agent of the Witch Queen herself, called upon to invade the city and learn more about how this realm works. Now that's not all though, she's also fueling her mother's plan to take over the universe and sort of gain all of this power. Now Dul Incaru is not the only child of Savathûn that we know of. Those who played Destiny 1 may remember a sackhead looking pretender to the throne called Malak, Pride of Oryx. Now Malak's case was pretty interesting. He first began as a thrall, as most Hive do, under the Witch Queen herself. So it seems that Savathûn initially wanted Malak to turn against Oryx, the Taken King, and use this cunning to steal his position and power, or at least some of it. Now examples of this is seen many times throughout the Books of Sorrows. You know, the siblings Oryx, Savathûn, and Xivu Arath killed each other many times because each wanted to assume that power, but you know, they came back to life, and that's something for another time. Malak, instead of funneling this power back to the Witch Queen, he was like, hey, I want this power for myself. He eventually then grew strong and ugly, and was taken by Oryx to taunt his sister Savathûn. Here's the card. Malak, cunning Malak, sly and slippery. Savathûn begat you to betray me, to poison slowly, gnaw from within. Liar Malak, you are meant to tithe upon Oryx, to feed your maker with secret blight. Your secret is 2 lies. You betrayed your maker, your mother. You hid yourself from Savathûn. The tithing does not reach her jaws. Your thrall strength is now acolyte strength. Your acolyte strength is now knight strength. Your thieving pride is known and fed. Malak, listen. I took you from your mother, my sister. Your shape is new. This shape is poison, the shape of secrets. I name you Malak, which means my poison, a prize to taunt sister Savathûn. Steal now for me. So eventually we went to the moon and killed Malak in a strike, but some may not have known that he was actually a spawn under Savathûn herself. Now the only reason I bring him up was because, you know, Dul Incaru is also a daughter of Savathûn, and both of them sort of deal with power, but it's a bit of a different story. Now, with Dul Incaru, this makes me wonder if she is, you know, just simply a spawn under her like Malak was a thrall, or is she truly a daughter, because some of the other entries talks about, you know, her wondering if her mother is proud of her, or if she even likes her. Now, she does look like a witch herself, so I guess she's got that going for her. Now something else to note is that since Destiny 2 release, we've been getting hints of Savathûn everywhere, on Titan, in certain missions, even with some of the enemy names. Now long ago in the Books of Sorrow, when Oryx gifted Savathûn Kyria Blade Transform, she says something I find interesting. She basically questions what they're doing and if it's right. She says this: I don't have a strict proof yet, you know? Savathûn strokes the void with one long claw and space-time groans beneath her touch. This thing we believe, that we're liberating the universe by devouring it, that we're cutting out the rot, that we're on course to join the final shape. I haven't found a strict, eternal proof. We might yet be wrong. So this is interesting because Savathûn begins to question, you know, are they doing the right thing? Is her power enough? And does something need to change? Now ultimately Oryx, you know, says something and they kind of just brush it off and she says, hey, I like that, whatever. Now, where we may start to see this change is in another entry in the Books of Sorrow, which is called the Gift Mast. Now basically the 3 siblings kind of go towards the Gift Mast, and here's the end of the card. The mast is full of the light of the traveler. It is full of the marrow taste of the sky. All who eat of it are filled with the ecstatic certainty that they serve a great and necessary purpose. Then saith Savathûn, siblings listen, we must part ways for a while so that we may grow different. She then flies her war moons into a black hole. Her throne becomes distant. So at this point, we kind of see that change. Savathûn's like, hey, I'm going to do things a different way. I'm going to fly into this black hole, part ways from you guys, and change things up a bit. Now it seems her sister Xivu Arath did sort of the same thing. She flies her war moons into the night, it says, and her throne is barred shut. So the question is, why did she change and what is her purpose? And let's talk about that next. But the question you all want to know, why is Dul Incaru here? Yes, the wish by Savathûn through Riven opened up the Stargate to let her in, but what's the frickin' goal? So you heard me briefly mention a being earlier who is responsible for creating this cycle, and she happens to be under Savathûn's control as well. But in a summary from my friends over at Destinypedia, here's what we have. Dul Incaru the Eternal Return is a hive wizard and daughter of Savathûn, the Witch Queen. She is responsible for the Dreaming City's taken curse and is working alongside something else I'm not going to name to trap the city in a 3-week loop so that Savathûn can empower herself with godly strength. So this 3-week loop is going to keep occurring. Now we just had the dungeon with Dul Incaru, the Shattered Throne, last week, so it's going to disappear for a couple of weeks and come back, I think, mid-October. But basically, as you know, the Hive need to feed themselves. They need to keep killing to feed their worm, and everything would be fine. They gain more power, they can cause more destruction. Now I'm not sure if you picked up on this, but by continuing the loop week after week that can't be broken, Savathûn is obtaining all of her power right now through that, which can make her very, very strong. Anyway, Guardians, that's all I got for today's video. Didn't want to dive too in depth with it, kind of just wanted to explain who Dul Incaru was and why she's in the Dreaming City in the first place. Let me know down below what other secrets and mysteries would you like me to cover regarding Forsaken, and definitely like this video up if you enjoyed. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. My name's Evade, and I'll catch you, Guardians, in the next one.